You know, if I had watched the series first as the creators intended, I think my opinion of Robots in Disguise would have turned out way differently. Welcome to the critique ReBooted, where we take a look at franchises that will never die and determine whether we should tune in or tune out their miniseries. I'm Song, your resident cartoon connoisseur, and this is Transformers Prime. Prime is a 2010 series in the Transformers franchise created by Alex Kurtzman and Roberto Orci, who were the screenwriters of the first two Bay movies. The series started on November 29, 2010, and did not officially end until October 4, 2013, with the premiere of the movie Predacons Rising. The Hub Network series seems to be pretty well received by fans, and critics were mostly positive toward it, praising the epic storyline. It also was nominated for and even won many awards, including 2 Daytime Emmys in 2011 for Outstanding Achievement in Animation. For this review, I watched 26 episodes in Season 1, 26 episodes in Season 2, 13 episodes in Season 3, and 1 film to close out the series, for a total of 65 episodes and a movie. So do I think the show is worthwhile? Well, I'm not making the joke again, so let's just go. I'll just be direct here. This theme is boring. Very boring. This is the first time that I have actively skipped the intro sequence for a show I'm reviewing. The soundtrack as a whole feels a lot like the score of the live-action films, and while that works great for the series in general, it does not work nearly as well as an intro theme. Of course, it does manage to set the appropriate tone of a serious and epic story, so it definitely does its job as the theme song, but it's lacking the excitement that the show has too. In the third season, the music is remixed, admittedly to add in that excitement, but really they just add more of a beat behind it, and to me it feels lazy. Visually, you get a unique shot of all the main support characters gearing up for battle with the antagonists. I think it's fine, and it does not just take clips from the show, which is always a plus for me, but honestly, the actual music is killing me here. The track and the visuals do not match at all, and the whole thing really suffers. The plot of Transformers Prime is as follows. After the war that ended in the fall of planet Cybertron, 5 Autobots find themselves on Earth just trying to survive while also doing what they can to protect humanity from Decepticon forces. Eventually, said forces get much stronger, and Prime and company employ the help of 3 young human high schoolers who more or less stumble into the alien robots. Together, they keep the Decepticons from destroying and or ruling the planet. The program takes much more of a direct approach to the narrative rather than just following a formula like the other series in this marathon so far, even its own sequel. Prime starts its storyline, sees where it's going, and builds up to that end goal with little to no filler. Basically, every move made by the Autobots or Decepticons has some sort of lasting impact for future episodes. Of course, the same cannot really be said for Mech. So there's an evil organization called Mech, and their goal is to create their own army of Transformers. Okay, fair, but their episodes are the formulaic ones. They come in looking to experiment on some bots, they almost succeed, and by the end of the episode, they are thwarted and flee. At least with the Decepticons, it's not clear who will win or lose a particular battle, and the outcome of said battle affects future episodes. With Mech, it's like nothing ever happened until they do, sorta randomly, create a working prototype that causes the US military to stop trusting the Autobots. Until the next episode where it is completely resolved with a clip show. A clip show. And then, poof, like nothing ever happened. Rinse, repeat. You could take Mech out and nothing would change. Except Starscream, I guess. Otherwise, I really enjoy how focused and organized the plot is. Every episode makes me want to know what happens next. The main cast is very similar to that of animated, with a change in the Team Two-Wheeler. We have Optimus Prime, the stoic leader and the last of the divinely chosen Primes, Bumblebee, the game-loving scout with a bit of a communication barrier, Ratchet, once again playing the grumpy old medic, Bulkhead, the kind-hearted powerhouse, and RC, a bike with some trust issues, but no one is better at getting out of a tight spot. It's clear these guys were a team long before the series started, and it is a joy to see their stories unfold through past and present events. They are, of course, joined by their human support team of Jack, the rational leader type, Miko, the impulsive exchange student, Raphael, the kid tech wizard, and Agent William Fowler, the liaison between the bots and the US government. These characters help out in their own distinct ways, and the narrative rarely puts too much focus on them. The show knows that it's about robots, not the people who befriend them. Of course, I do have a couple of issues. The smaller of which is that Jack is incredibly generic. Like, they all kind of are, but Jack is super generic. He's likable, don't get me wrong, and he does contribute quite a bit, but he doesn't feel special. However, my biggest problem is with Miko. I love her character, I really do, but she keeps running into things, jeopardizing missions, putting others at risk, even when specifically told not to, every time she is in an episode, and she never learns. She actively frustrates me. Sometimes they even just use this as a plot device for everything to go wrong. It was fair the first couple of times, but it gets old really fast. And of course, we have the antagonists, comprising of the Decepticons and Mech. But since Mech doesn't matter, I don't need to talk about them more. So instead, we just have Megatron, still leader of the Decepticons, Starscream, his not-so-loyal second-in-command, Soundwave, the communications chief with actions that speak louder than words, and the medic duo of Knockout and Breakdown. The series likes to give an ample amount of attention to these villains in their day-to-day lives, and I love seeing their interactions just as much as the ones between the Autobots. Especially any scene shared by Starscream and Knockout. There are just so many well-written characters for a well-written story. Transformers Prime is a 3D CGI program. Quick tangent, at the time of recording, E3 is right around the corner, and a lot of big gaming companies like to show off any new and pretty graphics by showing off cars. Looking at you, Microsoft. It's the same thing here. The cars look very nice, and they show off the CGI the best. And of course, the bots look good too, but I also think the human characters look pretty solid as well. I like how you can clearly see the scratches and dents when the robots get into battle. The detail work is amazing. You know what else is amazing? The atmosphere. Though the sets are very dark and kind of gritty, and I'm not a fan of that usually, man, it makes for some shots that really make an impact. And with such a cinematic camera, as well as great choreography, the action is among the best I've ever seen so far in this marathon. The writing is solid too, though yes, it is much more dark and serious than any other series. Humor is completely situational, so if a joke falls flat, you don't notice it was there in the first place. Of course, the voice acting is great too, with the return of Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime, as it should be, and the great Josh Keaton as Jack. Solid presentation. Good job, Prime, I'm impressed. Overall, this is a much more dark and serious show, but it is also much more story-driven, and I really enjoyed that. Actions have consequences, and the show really makes you want to know what happens next. For these reasons, I think Transformers Prime is a must-watch. Which is interesting because I still think Robots in Disguise was better. I can't help it, my preferences are brighter. But hey, that's just me. What do you think about the show? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you got this far in the video, you might as well subscribe and like if you enjoyed. I am also fairly active on Twitter, and I still have that Discord group up if you ever want to chat with me about animation or whatever else you want to chat about. In any case, I'm going to have a great day today, and I hope you do too. Thank you so much for watching.